Saturday, Sunday, probably in bed the whole time, man. It was absolutely miserable, to be honest with you. So I'm glad to be back, glad to be here in the studio. And man, lots to talk about today. I mean, so many different things that are going on. We'll get to the news in a minute. But yeah, at some point today, I'm going to talk about this lady, Bonnie Blue, who says that she slept with almost 1,100 dudes in 12 hours this past weekend. Yeah, she had a busy weekend, as you can imagine. And lots of other stuff going on, too. Planters, they've got the Nut Mobile out there they want you to drive. Let's see what else is going on here. Banished words for the year. We've got the best and worst states allegedly to raise a family in. Meta is going to end all their fact checking. So that's a big turnaround. Yeah, just lots and lots that's happening. What's going on in your world, people? What's been happening with you? Have you had some good time out? Are you enjoying the time off? What's going on? I was just talking to a friend of mine whose kid goes to school in Pine Bluff. Said, man, they are now full-time year-round. Said they take a week off here and there, like every 6 weeks or something. They take a week off, and that's it, man. They're in there all the time. Man, that sounds miserable to me. I would hate that if I was a kid. I mean, no summer, no real summer anyway. I mean, that was the best part of it, wasn't it? Getting out for, I don't know, 4, 6, 8 weeks, whatever it was that we were out. It seemed like forever at the time. And it was a hell of a lot of fun and much needed. But I know we're supposed to be keeping up with the Smiths and the Jones. I don't think it's because we weren't going enough school days was the problem. I think maybe the problem is what we're teaching or what we're not teaching, more importantly. But hey, let's move on to some other stuff here. We get to some news that maybe matters to you. I don't know if it does or not. We'll talk about it. Oh, hey, you like the new lower profile microphone here instead of the big boom arm that was in the way? Yeah, I got rid of that. Plus, probably noticed a new intro. Now it's not the silly TikTok style cartoons that I've jammed together on Snapchat. Something more professionally put together now that reflects the show that we're growing into. So I'm happy about that. Let's see. Southern California Edison, they now have 4 lawsuits over claims its electrical equipment is responsible for starting one of the wildfires in the Los Angeles area. At least 24 people are dead now after the fires broke out last Tuesday. Over 150,000 have been forced to evacuate. I mean, that is a lot of people, 150,000. The lawsuit filed by a group of homeowners, business owners, renters, others that had their property destroyed by the Eaton fire in the Pasadena area. It says the fire is the second most destructive in the history of the state and claims eyewitnesses saw a fire at the base of a transmission tower owned by Edison. Well, I'll tell you what they did see for sure. Yeah, they saw somebody lighting a fire, caught them in the act. The actual citizens around surrounded him and waited until authorities came. They said he was homeless. He did have a blowtorch. I don't know a lot of homeless people that roll around with blowtorches, but maybe, it's possible, I guess. But yeah, it makes me wonder how many of these fires weren't just organic, if any of them. I mean, were they all started by an arsonist? How did it begin? Why is it happening? I see all the conspiracy theories that they burned up all of LA because they're trying to get Diddy's mansion burned out. I guess that's possible, but I don't think so. I don't think we're going to light all of LA on fire just to get Diddy's mansion. I think they could have just lit it on fire and been fine, But it is crazy because I saw on Rogan maybe, I don't know, just a few weeks ago where they told him straight up, listen, if the wind blows the right way, a fire could burn LA all the way to the ocean. And boom, turn around and look what you got. Could have something to do with the fact that you took $100 million in funding away from firefighters last year in California and Los Angeles particularly. Could be that. I don't know. May not be. But I suspect that has something to do with it if you don't have enough people, or maybe the Palisades, the overflow duct or aqueduct, whatever it was that was supposed to be full, but somehow wasn't. I mean, a lot of questions, a lot more questions than answers. I know the mayor's in trouble. and probably should be, to be honest with you. Let's see if the people are already joining us this morning. Hold on here. Let's see. Wendy said, good morning. What's up, Wendy? Where are you at today? Where are you rolling? Wendy's our resident truck driver. Rich said, morning, y'all. I couldn't be there today. Ray Ivy and Cody Haze going to be coming in for a bit today. Hey, those are a couple of the guys, big time wrestlers that are going to be participating in Arkin Brawl. And man, we're getting close. Now, mark your calendar if you don't know. January 25th is going to be Arkin Brawl. It's a 100% free event. Bring your family, bring your friends, bring the kids, doesn't matter. We're going to have free hot dogs, and we're going to have some amazing wrestling. 4 independent wrestling leagues have combined here together. You're going to get 9 matches, of which the last match, the big match, the featured match, is somehow me versus Jimmy Buffet. You remember the guy that slammed me through the table and kind of jaw-jacked over here and got caught up in it? Yeah, so we're going at it. We're going at it full-time, big time, and it's going to be January 25th. But there's 8 matches before I ever get in the ring, you know, and I'm certain they're going to be 8 amazing matches. You can look at the lineup. You can go find Arkin Brawl. You can go through Patrick and the people to find it. Again, it's going to be 100% free. It's noon on Saturday, January 26th. So make plans to be here with your friends. It's going to be standing room only. You can bet on that. Rich said the new mics look awesome. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I was stoked to have you try it out this morning, but we'll catch you on the next one. Okay. Wendy said she's in San Antonio right now. Yeah. He said Rogan was last year when they predicted it, but yeah, no, absolutely. They did predict it. They did talk about it. Now it hasn't necessarily burned all the way to the ocean, but it's not good. It's not good at all, is it? Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I said it's on the 25th, January 25th. Isn't that what I said? Am I crazy? Anyway. All right. So let's get back to the news here. Where were we? All right. So, in response to the destructive wildfires in LA, an organization called the Bee Platoon is stepping in to help. They're a nonprofit. They're out of Davis. They focus on assisting beekeepers who've been affected by disasters. So over 100 beekeepers from the Pacific Palisades and nearby areas had to evacuate due to fire. So the Bee Platoon will remove hives out of the way of firefighters and other emergency personnel and move them out of harm's way. Well, I guess that's good. You know, I mean, you need somebody to do that. Bees are pretty critical to the environment, so I'm not going to blow that off. Let's see. Nobody cares about Jessica Simpson splitting up unless you're trying to get it in with her and she ain't hearing from you. Let's see. Oh, this is great. A Fall River, Massachusetts resident is facing federal drug trafficking charges after coming up with a brilliant idea. He sent some drugs through the mail. That's right, the old postal service. Justin Dupross allegedly mailed 2 kilos of cocaine from L.A. to Fall River last month. Authorities said another person signed for the package and gave it to him in Fall River a couple of days later. According to prosecutors, he had done the same thing several times in the past, including last September and October, and apparently didn't learn his lesson. So, yeah, sending drugs through the mail, maybe not that way. And maybe come up with a more creative way to do it. I don't know. Let's see. Here we go. TikTokers, with TikTok's future in the U.S. in the hands of the Supreme Court, a Chinese app called Red Note is topping the charts yesterday. Red Note was the top free-to-download app on the Apple App Store. The app has been called China's TikTok by users. Several TikTokers noted in videos that they joined Red Note to be petty and because it's a Chinese-owned app. Yeah, don't be stupid. I mean, look, I get it. You want TikTok, but Red Note sounds pretty commie. I mean, do you really want to play with that? Is that what you want? I don't know that you do. Maybe you do. Maybe you do, actually. Who knows anymore? Let's see. The Village People are set to perform at some inauguration events. The band announced they accepted an invite from President-elect Trump's campaign. The band went from telling Trump to not use their songs to telling fans We know this won't make some of you happy to hear, but we believe music is to be performed without regard to politics. His favorite song apparently is YMCA, and the Village People say they hope it helps bring the country together. I saw Carrie Underwood is also going to perform at the inauguration now. Apparently, that's a big deal. I don't know. I don't listen to Carrie. I haven't followed her in years. I remember when she won Idol. I know she's still out there. She's huge, big time. Lincoln, Nebraska snowplows now have some names. Out of 25 finalists, the public voted for 8 winners. The new names include the Big Leplowski, Sleetwood Mac, Control Salt Delete, Betty Whiteout, Buenos Snoches, Han Snowlow, Plowabunga, and Sled Zeppelin. It's pretty good. Pretty good names. Decals with winning names will be attached to the 8 city snow plows, which will be in service by spring. The feds were outside, the FBI outside Ben Affleck's house. Everybody wanted to know why. Ben Affleck's Brentwood home visited by the FBI and local cops. Part of an investigation, though, into unauthorized drone activity during the LA fires. The FBI said their task force is active in the area. Agents seen at many different people's residences. They're just looking for camera footage, looking for different things like that. They're trying to find out who owns the drone that put a hole in an airplane that was fighting fires. That's the big problem with these drones, man, is, you just throw it up there. These people who don't know what they're doing or not thinking or just trying to get the footage and get in the way of some real business, and it's just not a good idea. This is great. This is great because I couldn't give a shit less what Meghan Markle and Prince Harry think. But apparently they're speaking out now. And you need to know, right? Because you probably care. They're speaking out against Meta's decision to end fact-checking on Facebook. And they said so far away from the move is so far away from its values and commitment to users. Listen, okay, nobody gives a shit what you think. Meghan, Harry, go back to wherever you need to go back to. We don't care. Nobody cared when you got here, and they certainly don't care now. And if you think fact-checking on Facebook is important, then you're missing the point of everything, aren't you? Yeah, probably are. Let's see what else is going on here. As fires continue to burn, the death toll is at 24. It's now covered 23,000 acres, 14% contained yesterday. The Eaton fires burned over 14,000 acres. It was 33% contained yesterday. They've issued a PDS for today and tomorrow. That's a particularly dangerous situation. That's in addition to the red flag warnings in effect. So 9 people have been charged with looting, by the way, in connection to this. They've been arresting a lot of looters. Among those charged are 3 people accused of stealing over $200,000 in property last week at a house during an evacuation situation. They said some of these folks were dressing up as firefighters to be able to get access to the homes and loot them. And I guess what they're thinking is, look, they're insured. They're going to file their insurance claim on it, but it ain't your shit, is it? So, the Senate confirmation process gets started today for President-elect Trump's nominations for various positions. Senators want to get Trump's team confirmed as quickly as possible. Many are ready to assume their position when he's inaugurated Monday. With the 53 Senate majority Republicans hold and only a simple majority needed to confirm them, they should be able to achieve that goal. Pete Hegseth, who is the nominee for Secretary of Defense, will appear before the Senate Armed Services Committee this morning at 9:30 a.m. What else is going on here? Here you go. Joe Biden announced yesterday his administration is going to forgive another 150,000 student loans. The new group includes 80,000 who were cheated or defrauded by their schools, over 60,000 with total and permanent disabilities, and more than 6,000 public service workers. The latest round of loan forgiveness brings the total of people whose student debt have been canceled to about 5 million now. But yeah, if the school cheated you or defrauded you, Yeah, why should you have to pay a student loan to them? You should not. If you're one of those that got caught up in that tech thing, was it ITT? Was that the one? Well, why should you have to pay a student loan to those guys? You shouldn't. Let's see. Bloomberg reported late yesterday the Chinese government considering a plan to have Elon Musk acquire TikTok. No one told TikTok about that potential deal. Yeah, that's not, neither Musk responded to that, nor nobody's buying into that. That's just a rumor, is the bottom line. Let's see. Hurricane force winds caused damage in Anchorage. Hurricane force winds tore through Anchorage Sunday. Thousands still without power yesterday as a result. Apparently, a wind gust of about 132 miles an hour was recorded at a mountain weather station south of Anchorage, and 107-mile-an-hour gust was recorded in Arctic Valley to the north. So hurricane force wind started at 74 miles an hour. A sustained wind of 132 would qualify as a Cat 4 on the scale. A large low-pressure system in the Bering Sea was causing severe weather. Let's see. Governor Ron DeSantis calling a special session of the legislature on Trump's immigration policies. Florida's called a special legislature to work on funding to help state and local officials assist the Trump administration in implementing its immigration policies. In order to do that effectively, they said we'll need legislation to impose additional duties on local officials and provide funding for those local officials. The governor also said that he's prepared to suspend elected officials from office if they're neglecting their duties under new immigration mandates, and is willing to activate the Guard if need be to carry out enforcement measures. I think they're just really focusing on the most egregious offenders, the criminal ones who need to be, deported, who've been charged previously and shouldn't be here at all under any circumstance. Here's some good news. This is a good story, a real good story, actually. Last Thursday, 73-year-old Zoa Mendez was rescued by a group of strangers and law enforcement after being trapped under her car in Lawrence, Massachusetts. The accident happened while she was making flower deliveries. Her car was left in the drive. It rolled onto her leg, pinned her under the vehicle. The dramatic rescue was caught on video, showed a group of people joining forces to lift the car off of her. One of the bystanders described the moment saying, she was screaming for help and grabbing onto my leg and was just trying to lift the car. Witnesses recounted how many different individuals were working together to raise nearly half the car's weight. Said a lot of people helped her. I don't know what would have happened if, she didn't have somebody to help. She was freed, taken to the hospital, treated for injuries to her legs, but they expect her to fully recover. That's awesome. And this also pretty interesting. A North Carolina dad and son are praised for saving a deputy and his canine from a burning car after a high-speed chase. Curtis Blanton and his son. Oh, we have someone at the door. Hold on. Could be a robber. I don't know. Come on in, man. How are you?
How you doing?
Good, man. Good. Guys, come on in. Come on in. Have yourself a seat there. Yeah. What's going on, fellas? How are you?
How you doing? How you doing, Patrick?
I'm good. Good to
to
see you. Good to see you. Yeah, man. Have a seat.
Childhood.
Hey, yeah, man. Well, I'm glad y'all are here. Let me finish up the news and we'll visit in a minute, all right?
Sure.
Got some big time wrestlers in here, and we're going to get to them in just a moment. So, as I was saying, Curtis Blanton and his 17-year-old son, Pete, heard about the crash on a police scanner and rushed to help. The vehicle had collided with a tree during a pursuit of a suspected stolen car, and it ignited the car on fire. So they acted quickly, pulled out Taylor and his canine partner to safety. And so they're getting a lot of love and support for that, and very appreciated. Netflix, hey, they're stepping up. They're donating $10 million to help those impacted by the Southern California wildfires. They said their heart goes out to everyone affected. Ted Sarandos, in a memo he shared with Netflix employees, the head explains the $10 million will be split between the LA Fire Department Foundation, California Community Fund Wildfire Recovery Fund, World Central Kitchen, Motion Picture and TV Fund, and Entertainment Community Fund. They also expressed gratitude to first responders, calling them the real action heroes. The memo includes how Netflix is helping their affected employees. They're going to provide direct assistance with temporary housing for those who've lost their homes, as well as double matching all employee contributions to charities. So they're trying to do a lot there and help out. All right, let's get into sports here. The final matchups are set, baby. Are you ready for it? The divisional round of the NFL playoffs. Last night, the Rams dismantled the Vikings, embarrassed them, just sent them home shamefully. They locked in the final spot. So here's the slate of games, okay? So Saturday, the Texans at the Chiefs. Then you've got the Commanders at the Lions. And honestly, the Chiefs and Lions should both come out on that. The Rams at the Eagles and the Ravens at the Bills. Those games are a little tougher. I still think the Eagles and Ravens come out there. I think the Bills are choke artists, and I think the Ravens are real. So let's see. Mike McCarthy's out over at Dallas. The last half of the regular season loaded with speculation. It finally happened. But look, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter who they hire. It doesn't matter who they fire. As long as Jerry's still at the helm, you're still going to have the same situation. So you can keep moving them in and out, and they'll continue to be the most valuable franchise on the planet. Jerry will continue to be the best wealth-generating owner the NFL's ever seen, or sports for that matter. And they still won't win a Super Bowl until Jerry's gone. Tough take, but real. I'm just keeping it real with you. Saquon Barkley, for those prop bettors who banked on Saquon to find the end zone during the wild card battle against the Packers, one run in particular proved to be a heartbreaker. All of Sunday's games, the most wagers were placed on Barkley being an anytime scorer, and it looked like a sure thing when he blew through the Packers line with about 1:09 left to play. But with the Eagles holding a 22-10 lead, he chose to slide after picking up the first down and made the sports books the big winner in that instance. And then let's see, one last thing here on sports before we get into some wrestling. An amateur golfer pulled off an unbelievable feat. He made a hole-in-one over pro golfer Bryson DeChambeau's Texas home to win a $100,000 prize. That's dope. The challenge was inspired by his viral video from last fall when he needed 16 days and 134 attempts to make the same shot over his glass-windowed $2 million home. He offered the challenge as a way to kick off the new year, giving a lucky fan, Jimmy Elliott, 7 hours to replicate that shot. He thought Elliott had a shot, but figured it'd take a while, predicting he might nail it after 6 hours of effort. He explained the ups and downs he was likely to face: frustration, exhaustion. But to everyone's surprise, he managed to get the hole-in-one on his 5th shot 6 minutes into the challenge. 6 minutes in, dude pocketed $100,000. The pro took 7 hours. That's pretty damn amazing. So congratulations to him getting over on the man and getting himself $100,000. Now, let's talk to our wrestling friends here. Scooch on in that way, man. They're not going to be able to see you. Let's get you, put that mic up in front of your face. There you go. Let me push these up a little bit. All right. And go ahead and talk into the mic, Phyllis.
Hello, hello.
Yeah.
Hello, hello.
All right. Great. Let's introduce yourselves and tell them what's going on. Tell them who you are.
My name is Cody Haze.
Cody Haze. And?
I'm John. I'm his manager.
Okay. All right. So John is Cody's manager.
He's also my brother.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So Cody, you are going to be doing what? Are you participating in our big Arkansas match?
I plan to.
Yeah.
They have me going for that next level championship belt
Yeah.
against Azul. Pretty sure I'll come up on top.
Oh, yeah? Now, how did you get involved in wrestling, man?
Well, I'm a long time fan. Been watching wrestling my whole life. Wrestling with my dad growing up. Sometimes me and him would wrestle,
Yeah.
but I mean, just I loved. And then about what was it in July? About 6 months ago.
Yeah, it was in July.
Mhm.
We never knew Arkansas had indie wrestling. I mean, apparently it's been going on for like 10 years or even more,
Well, it
and
had
we've
been
never
kind
heard
of,
of it.
kind of percolating underneath, but over the past probably, I guess, I guess since the pandemic and all that lifted, it's kind of been exploding, right?
Exactly. And I found out about 6 months ago when I ran into Haas over there when they came to Hazen at SCW
Mhm.
Rich,
Yeah.
and he invited me to the Cersei show, the AWE show. They're in Cersei the next day. They have it
Mhm.
every Sunday, and we go there and we train and we develop and
Go ahead and let the visitors in. Could be a robber, could be another wrestling guest. I don't know. Oh, what's going on? Come on over here, man.
I'm a little late, but
No, you're good. You're good. Come on in, man. Have a seat. How you doing?
pride of wrestling right there.
Patrick. Let me pull this over. You can grab that headphone right there.
Thank you for interrupting me, by the way.
hey, no problem. Hey, no problem.
All right, man. Well,
Good morning, Ray.
Introduce yourself to everybody.
My name is the Authentic Ray Ivy.
Yeah.
I have been doing this for actually next Saturday. The
You
day
have
of
to
the
get
show.
right up on it like that.
Actually, the next day of the next Saturday, day of the show will be my 23 years doing this.
23
Yes,
years,
sir.
man. That's amazing, man.
Yes, sir.
Now, I've been hearing a lot of people talk about you, bringing your name up, and seem to have a lot of respect for the work that you've done through the years. They say you're kind of an icon in the business.
Well, to be straight up honest, man, that's kind of humbling because a lot of people know earlier in my career I didn't have the best reputation, and I had a little bit of an ego.
Mm-hmm.
But through the years of realizing that I'm not the best in the state of Arkansas, there's always somebody that's going to be better than you,
Sure.
just like in everyday life.
In anything you may do. Yeah, it
Exactly.
doesn't matter. Yeah.
And then, got kids like Cody here that after this many years in the business, I've realized my days in the ring are numbered. But I'm going to say it's not, I don't plan on it being anytime soon.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you there.
I'm not much younger than you, Ray. So my years are numbered too. So I'm not in there as long. I'm just I'm green in this
Right.
as well. So I'm trying to be a sponge, and just trying to soak it all in and develop as fast as I can, learning from greats like you,
I appreciate
greats
that,
like
man.
Rob and Terry. They've y'all have taken me in. Y'all have taken me in. Y'all have worked with me. Y'all have trained me, and to me, that's everything.
Well, and I'm not just saying it because you're sitting here, but the respect that you show people that's come before you, and the respect and humbleness that you show, man, you've got a ways to go in this business, whether it be, soaking up the knowledge or how far you go in the business. And when it comes to that, I've had to learn over the years that one thing I've always said is I don't want to be one of these disgruntled vets.
Right. Sure.
That sit there and say, "Oh, these young kids here, today."
Right.
But I had to learn that. What's that? I hate the saying, but sit there, shut your mouth and listen.
Yeah, no, you get two ears and
one mouth.
That's
I
right.
have a problem with that myself. So.
Lord, does he?
So Ray, tell me, how did you get started in the business?
Excuse me. I got started with my dad.
Okay.
My dad wrestled for 40 years.
Really?
Yes. He now he never made it to WWF or WWE, WCW, but he did work for Memphis a couple of times
Okay.
when Lawler was running it.
Yeah. Jerry the King Lawler.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember. A lot of people do. Some people don't. Ozark Mountain Wrestling that used to be in Jonesboro.
Sure. Yeah.
My dad wrestled for Burt Prentice.
Okay, I know Burt Princess.
He ran it as the Midnight Special
Yeah.
and Rockabilly, the Elvis Presley impersonator.
Okay.
That was my dad. Dirty Little
Okay.
Dave that used to wrestle for Burt Prentice was my uncle.
Okay.
And I always wanted to follow my dad's footsteps.
Mm-hmm.
And when I turned like 13, my dad told me absolutely not, because he knew what the business was like. And I hate to say it, backstage politics.
Yeah.
And when I turned 19 years old, I called him drunk one night on New Year's. I was like, "Hey, Dad, happy New Year's." And he was like, "Oh, by the way, your very first match is January 25th."
Wow.
And I was like, so I called him back the next day when I was sober, and I was like, "Did you really tell me that my first match was on the 25th?" And he was like, "Yeah." So we, got back after it, training,
Mm-hmm.
getting back in the routine, because I've been around it my whole life. And then I guess what they say, rest is history. 23 years later, here we are.
Right. Now, do you also train and condition other athletes in the business as well?
Actually, yes, I do. The show Wrestling with Pride that's on this event,
Yes.
that's mine.
Okay.
I own that one.
Okay.
And I've got people like Cody.
Yes.
You got people like Shane Bridges, the one that I'm facing.
Yes.
I trained him.
Okay.
Triple J.
Triple J, I took him. Well, he trained at Bumps and Bruises in
Mm-hmm.
Little Rock,
Yeah.
or Sherwood area, but I took him under my wing when he come to WWP.
Okay.
And, I had a hand in on with Rob Father.
Yeah.
And there's, not to try to sound egotistical, but there's some people, most of the people in Northeast Arkansas area, Central area, Arkansas area, when you hear their name, I've had a hand in on training them. Like, I don't know if you watch Memphis Wrestling Now.
I don't now.
Oh, okay. There's a guy on there, you know who I'm talking about, K. Toomer.
Yes.
When he first started, I had a hand in on his training.
Okay.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yes. I was actually the one that got him to come to ASWF in Tuckerman, where he started training.
Okay.
And Will Cage.
Mm-hmm.
I know Will Cage. Yes.
I had a hand in on that at the beginning.
Okay.
So, in recent years, we were talking about there's been such a big surge in the interest in wrestling in Central Arkansas. What's driving that? What's pushing that?
I think the simplest answer you can give on that part is, in quote unquote vets in the business used to hate to break the word kayfabe.
Mm-hmm.
Break down that fourth wall.
Yeah.
And since Vince McMahon has done it, and it's to let people know that it's entertainment,
Yeah.
but the risks are real.
Right.
And I think the crowd knowing what the real risks are
Yeah.
drives them that much more. And it, and I hate to say it, but it's kind of a sick pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
It really
guilty
is,
pleasure.
honestly.
Whether you're
As
in the
new as
ring
I am.
performing, yes. Whether you're in the ring performing or whether you're in the crowd watching, it's a guilty pleasure because it's that risk, and you're like, "Oh crap, did he really get hurt?"
Sure. Well, and if you have good storylines and good plots and things like that, then
Yes.
everybody likes to be involved.
A lot of these companies, I've worked with a couple of other companies outside of the companies I'm working with now,
Mm-hmm.
and the storylines that I've paid attention to and I've worked with, and they don't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You got to make it make sense.
Well, sure. No, I mean, I obviously that's important. I think when you're doing independent, it is more challenging.
Mhm.
You have challenges budgetarily. You have challenges with, people learning. There are different levels of learning skills and all that. But the main challenge is just creating a cohesive product
100.
that people, the chair's a mess. Isn't it?
Over here.
It's creating
Always breaking something right.
a cohesive product that people want to be involved in.
I'm actually glad you brought up the storyline situation. The advantage to running in the same place at least once a month is you can run a storyline.
Yeah.
Now you got shows that do do the pop-up shows. That it's more challenging to run a storyline there,
Yes.
but it can be done.
Yeah, but it has to be an instant reward type
100%,
storyline. Yeah, it
and
can't be something that's developed over weeks unless
Right.
it's done online.
And that's one advantage. A lot of people hate the online community of wrestling because a lot of people expect too much.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, you can run storylines.
Yeah.
Like
You could do promos and keep them simple and
Right.
make them pop.
one of the things he just said on promos on what do you call it online.
Mhm.
We have a rule 90 seconds or less. If you go 4 and 5 minutes on a promo, they ain't nobody gonna sit there and watch that whole
No.
thing. Snooze
No.
fest.
That's all it
No, I
is.
mean it's no. That's not.
Especially
doesn't
with
make
today's
sense, yeah.
society and with the YouTube shorts and TikTok, everybody wants short content.
Well, the attention span is a little
Exactly.
shorter
Yeah.
these days.
Man,
you know?
100%.
Yeah. So, I grew up, watching wrestling, watching Junkyard Dog and Hacksaw Jim Dugan and, Andre the Giant, those type of guys at Barton Coliseum,
Yes.
back in the day of WCW and all of those things that were going on at the time. You had Mid-South Wrestling, you had WWF at the time. I mean, but you had a lot of different, Texas was real big. The Von Erichs were really big. But when you were coming up, who did you love?
I'm gonna go somewhere other than my dad, of course.
Okay, yeah, well, I would imagine, yeah.
Flair.
Ric Flair, yeah.
And as I got to like my teenage years, it was Stone Cold, the Undertaker.
Sure.
But the one reason that I loved Flair was everybody will tell you he wasn't the best technical wrestler, but if he wanted to, he could.
Mm-hmm.
It was the way he worked the crowd. It was he could hold whether he was face or heel, he could hold the crowd right there in the palm of his hands, and he could draw emotion.
Well, and it was the storyline for him.
Yes.
It's exactly what it was because, unlike most wrestlers at the time, he was a villain across multiple leagues.
Yes.
And different, groups, Mid-South, Texas, all that. So, he was the bad guy, the top of the food chain,
Right.
whether it was for the Von Erichs, whether it was for, the Harts, whomever it may have been, it was Ric Flair. And he was so good that everybody wanted him.
Yes.
That's just how good he was. And he was that exciting at the time.
And he could talk the fans into the seats.
Mhm.
That was one advantage. He had over a bunch of the guys as he could talk. And one of the greatest but worst promos, you'd have to look it up online, was Jumping Jimmy Farmer.
Yeah.
And look it up online, and he butchered that promo.
Yeah.
Then you look at somebody like Flair, and you're like, oh, wow. You do have to be able to talk in this business.
No, you got to be able to run your mouth, and you got to be able to do it. That's one of the reasons that The Rock, the most electrifying man in show business, right? Because he had something where when he stepped out there, he could run his mouth in a way that made people like it.
Oh,
100%. And got everybody else involved in it, and so it's always been about, to me, when I was growing up, more than the match, more than anything, it was the standing there talking to Mean Gene Okerlund or whomever it may be,
Right.
and running your head, the Macho Man going, whatever he's going into, whatever he's saying.
And half the
It
time
was
you
fascinating.
half the
for
time
me,
what he was saying made no sense.
No,
man.
it didn't have to, though. It didn't have to
Right.
because he was so entertaining.
Yes.
You didn't care.
Right.
See, for me, it was Stone Cold. I mean, he could just
Sure.
drive in, pull in his truck, not say anything, walk into the locker room.
Mm-hmm.
That's a promo.
Yeah.
No words, and he got
Body
he got the
language.
body language.
Yeah.
The way he sold himself,
I
carried himself.
would probably consider him to be the greatest of all time.
To me, on the mic, yes.
While
And yes,
I'm not
in
talking
the
about
ring,
from
in the
a,
ring, yes.
I'm not talking about just from a physical standpoint. I just mean as an entertainer, as a character,
Really, as a person,
as
I've kept
just
up with him
someone-
online, and
just as someone that people embraced.
Yes.
You know, and look, he's still got shows on now. You Broken Skull Ranch. You got
Right.
you know, some kind of redneck
Broken
island
Skull
or whatever.
Sessions.
Yeah, so you got all these different things. He's still that big. He's
Still
still
relevant.
that loved.
One of the biggest pops you will ever see that I remember from Stone Cold is when the invasion,
Yes.
WCW, ECW invasion,
Mhm.
when he made his return from that bar that night,
Yeah,
and he walked through and he pulled up like you said,
With the
pulled up,
crowbar.
it was either crowbar or pull stick,
I think it was a crowbar. He went
one
through-
of the two.
either way.
And when his music hit, the crowd lost it.
Sure.
And it's all about, you know, kind of like Cody and John were saying, it's all kind of about presence.
Mm-hmm.
When he stepped out of that truck, they knew he meant business.
Mm-hmm.
And when he come in, he cleaned house. I mean, that's why they call it the Austin Pop, the Stone Cold Pop.
Yeah.
And what I would do to be in front of that many people one time in my
man.
life.
Oh no.
Feel the building shake like that.
Yeah, no, I can tell you from some experience with that, from, you know, being on stage at Edge Fest
Oh,
and being, you know, in front of a crowd that big and you know, hearing them cheer and just the feel of the electricity of a crowd of that size
Right.
is amazing.
The
I mean,
biggest,
there's nothing like it.
the biggest crowd I've ever performed in front of was 9,000.
Yeah, that's a good sized crowd, man.
Yeah. And you remember Rocktoberfest in Batesville, Arkansas?
Of course.
That when they had that wrestling over there,
Okay.
I wrestled over there.
Okay.
And it's a I've performed in front of 5 people,
Mm-hmm.
and then I've performed in front of that crowd.
Yeah.
And a lot of people want to tell me I'm lying or whatever. You can say what you want. They're like, yes, of course, there's a difference, but when I walk out the curtain, there's no difference.
No,
You're gonna
there-
get 110% of what I got to give.
Yep.
No,
Yep.
that's exactly right. You know, I remember when I was, you know, doing stand up, and I was mentoring young comedians, and one of those young comedians was Laura, who later became my wife. And we had a show in Hot Springs, and it was a miserable show. We didn't put it together. We were booked for it, and we showed up, and there's like literally 7 people. And so she was like, "Man, do I have to do it?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, no, you got it." I said,
100%.
"These 7 people came for the show, and they're going to get the show."
100%.
You know, I said, "So you got to go out and you got to do it."
One of
You
the,
know, now I'll say, you can make 30 sound like 100. 7 sounds like 7. No matter what.
No matter what.
You can't
See,
change
me and
that.
my buddy, we went to I don't know if you ever heard of the band Villain of the Story. They're out of Michigan, but they came to Memphis it was on Wednesday night. It was raining, it was storming. Me and my buddy, we went out. I had to work the next morning, but we went out there and we were the only 2 in the crowd. They
Yeah.
put on a hell of a show.
Yeah,
It was a great show. Then afterwards, we stood there for like 3 hours and talked to them, became friends.
that's cool. But no, I mean, look, you the people who come, the fans that come for it, you give them the show. Now, look, you may know this. I don't know how much. I know you're very busy doing your thing.
right.
But somehow, some way, I've been roped into this event. You know? And
If you need
So-
some help, you know who to
Somehow.
call.
so now I'm going to be taking on Jimmy Buffet.
Oh, he's a big old fella.
Well, I'm going to.
He is. I've went up against him.
Yeah, he's not going to serve. The buffet's going to get closed. That's what I'm going to say.
Ooh.
But I, you know, look, it's a short window of time between here and there.
Yes.
Are you local
I am in Jacksonville.
in Jacksonville? Maybe I should pop by and see and get a couple tips from you before
Well, it's funny
this all
you say
happens.
that. I was talking to Rich this morning.
Rich one fall.
Yes. And he gave me the perfect idea to get you ready for part of the match
No.
here today.
Oh, yeah?
Oh.
Rich, you son of a bitch! Whatever you did, you'll get.
You're not
gonna
going to
pay.
do it, right?
He said you told him
Uh-huh.
that you wanted to take a chop.
Oh,
Did I,
no.
is that what I said, Rich? Did I tell you that? I will take a chop. I don't
Seen the
mind.
text.
But I don't. Yeah, I need receipts on that one.
Okay. Yeah.
No, not from him. From me. Yeah. But yeah, no, I'm down to experience that.
Well,
Yeah.
it's kind of like when you're going up, making history in this business is one thing I love to do.
Yeah.
And I had the very first ever cage to ladder match in Arkansas.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought I was going to die that night. Don't ever do a leg drop off the top of a cage.
Duly
Yeah,
noted.
Matt Hardy said that.
Yeah, that probably hurts.
The guy that I'm wrestling, Shane, in the scaffold match.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of my best friends, not only in the business but outside the business.
Okay.
And it's the whole way this match came about was the fact of two friends want to make history.
Yeah.
Because this is the first ever scaffold match in Arkansas.
It is. And we're super stoked about doing it. You know, again, it's January 25th. It's called Ark and Brawl. We'll have 9 matches for you, 8 matches, and then myself versus Jimmy Buffet, actually.
One of the two.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Whichever one shows up, they're getting their ass whooped. That's what happens.
I love that attitude.
Yeah.
I heard that.
Keep it up.
I heard
Yeah,
that, Patrick.
so trust me, you
Because
know.
Azul, just know, I'm getting that title. That next level championship, that's mine.
He seems pretty serious about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've
Now,
had
how
gold
long-
on my eyes since the beginning.
I got you. You got goals in mind. Okay. All right. Well, man, I am glad that you guys all came by today to hang out with us.
Speaking of
and
goals,
Yes.
we also have a hometown show with
Oh, do you?
WWP and TNR.
Okay.
First time ever. We're bringing the show to Haze, Arkansas.
To Hazen even.
My
Yes.
hometown, yes, sir.
Okay. All right. When is that going to be?
That will be
February 22nd. Doors open at 6. $10 admission at the Hazen Community Center.
At the Hazen
Yes, sir.
Community Center. You know what? You ain't got nothing to do in Hazen. You need to go out and see that.
Oh yeah,
Come on,
it's gonna
Hazen,
be an
show
awesome
up.
show.
Show up and
Hometown.
show out, baby.
Yeah, I jumped out of an airplane in Hazen.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Why jump out of a perfectly good airplane?
Well, that's what I asked myself when they opened the door. And then when we jumped out,
Never been on an airplane.
I passed out pretty quick. And then it's real weird when you wake up midair with a man spreading your legs apart
Oh, God.
that's strapped to your back. Yeah, it's a weird feeling, you know. But I woke up and enjoyed the rest of the ride down, you know. But
that's the bad part, man. It's not the fall that usually gets you hard, man. It's the sudden stop at the end.
yeah, I know it is. But when we landed, he said, "Hey, man, the camera didn't work. If you want a free jump, we'll do it again." And I said, "No, I got my memory. I'm good. Y'all keep that."
Waking up mid-sky, that sounds like a bad dream of mine.
Man, it was a trip. I'll say that. You know, I talked mad shit all the way up too, man. Mad shit, man. I'm ready. Let's do it. Yeah. Then jumped out. Whoop. You know.
You were
so-
done.
Out, just out.
Yeah, just out, yeah. Like a bitch, man.
I understand.
Yeah, now it wasn't my finest moment. I promise you that. I promise you that. All right. Well, man, I'm so glad that you shared that Hazen event. Tell us again. It's $10. When is it?
February 22nd at the Hazen Community Center. Doors open at 6. $10 admission.
All right. Awesome. And what do you got?
On top
I know
of
Ark
that,
and Brawl coming up.
we got Ark and Brawl this weekend.
Mhm.
No, next weekend.
Yeah.
This weekend we got Leachville, Arkansas. I know it's a pretty good ways away, but we got TNR,
Okay.
Leachville, Arkansas, New Year's Brawl 2, I think.
Yes.
New Year's Brawl 2, and then the week after that we got Ark and Brawl.
Okay. Yeah. So you
Yeah.
back to back.
Back to back, and then
March 1st, we have Vapors.
March 1st we have Vapors.
Okay.
February 22nd, Hazen. March 22nd, Hard Riders Bar and Grill and Cabin.
Oh yeah, that's gonna
Okay.
be
That'll be a big show. Yeah.
It's TNR WWP. We'll be back for, I think it's called Fight Like a Fool.
Fight like a fool.
And
All
That
right.
makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
Last
yeah.
time we was there, it was great.
It was
Yeah.
called Drunken
It was
Brawl.
fun.
The Drunken Brawl.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I had
No,
a pool stick broken over my back.
We even
That's
had
awesome.
titties
Great.
showing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I
great.
didn't have a match that night. I had a damn fight.
Yeah. You had
Oh,
a
yeah.
brawl.
Yeah, it was
A
me
slobber
versus-
knocker.
Oh, dude, we went in the crowd. I threw, the little punching bags where they measure. I threw
Yeah.
a dude's head into that.
That's great, man. That's great.
It
You
didn't
just had a
register
good
very
time.
hard, but yeah, it was a great time, man. This is my this is my passion. A lot of people, oh, it's a hobby. No, this is my
Yeah,
way
it's
of
what
life.
you like to do.
This is my
Yeah,
way of
I
life.
get it.
It's
I
like
get that.
football, basketball. This is it, man. It's
If you put everything you have into it, it becomes that.
Well, I'm not going to put everything I have into it forever, but I'm going to do it on the 25th.
Oh, I understand.
And on the 25th, I'm going to put everything I got into it and take everything Jimmy's got out of it.
Hey.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so.
Hey, like I said, if you
There's
do-
one move I got to tell you to be careful for on Jimmy, and that's because it's happened to me.
Yeah,
I went for a crossbody. Don't go to the top rope, by the way.
yeah. No, I probably wouldn't. Look at my fat ass. You think I'm going to the top rope?
Hey, I've seen bigger go to the top rope.
Me too.
That's right,
I
true,
went
yeah.
for a crossbody. He was standing in the middle of the ring, and I bounced off of him.
Did you? Yeah, no, that I could see
He
that.
fell on top of me.
Yeah, you can try to Irish whip him, and
Yeah, that
no,
ain't
that's not
happening.
going to do it. He's going to end with you on your back. Yeah,
And don't hit a crossbody because he's a house with legs.
yeah,
I was
no.
gonna say all you did was run to a shelf and fell on you.
And watch out for that bear hug spine buster.
Well, you got to leverage that weight against them.
Oh yeah.
You know, the size and the weight are a benefit and a curse.
Live by my daddy's rules. If they ain't got kneecaps, they can't stand.
Exactly. Chop you down like a tree.
That's true. That's true. All right, man. I appreciate you
No, man,
guys coming.
appreciate
out,
you
man.
having us.
Yeah, hell yeah,
Yes.
man.
Appreciate
So good to have you on, and I do need to get catch up with you over the next few days, maybe. Good to see you guys again, man.
Yes, sir. This
Thanks
is a lot
for
of
coming
fun.
by. Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. Now we're gonna talk about a couple other things here that we need to do. Y'all are welcome to stick around and hang out, but we're gonna talk about a couple different things here
problem, man.
that need to go down here. So here's something if you're looking for a career move. Maybe you've been thinking about what you want to do with your life now. Maybe you're not where you want to be. Well, how about this? You could become a driver for Oscar Mayer's Wienermobile.
That'd be a dream job.
Yeah, with their hot dogger program. Well, planters, they don't want to be outdone. And so they have a similar opportunity for one lucky fan to drive the Nutmobile for a year.
That sounds more your speed, Ray.
Would you like to drive the Nutmobile?
I'm a
Of course you
professional at
would.
that.
Yeah, the Nutmobile is a 26-foot long peanut truck, and peanutters are brand ambassadors that travel the country to spread joy, smiles, and puns. To qualify for this, you would need a bachelor's degree, believe it or not, in advertising, PR, something like that. The director of marketing said you need to be an energetic ambassador. If this sounds like something you want to do, go to beapeanutter.com.
So they want you to go to
Send that link
college
to Ray.
to drive a peanut.
Make sure you
Yeah.
send that link to Ray.
Yeah. No, I think it's great that you could drive the Nutmobile. I think that's awesome. That's certainly.
Sounds like the little dog car off Dumb and Dumber.
The
Mudmobile.
Made out
yeah,
of carpet.
the grooming one. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was pretty funny. That's a crazy job, just driving around and doing that. But it's probably a lot of fun. The people that do the Wienermobile, talked to them for a while a couple of years ago, and they sign up for like a year at a time, and they're paid very well for what they do. But they just
probably on the road all year.
And what
they
do,
are-
just drive a giant hot dog.
Yeah, they drive a giant Wienermobile all over the country, and they, show up to events, pull up, take pictures, kiss babies, shake hands, do all that
Sounds
kind
like
of
a
stuff.
dream job, actually.
It's a pretty good job for a young person if you want to
Nice little
travel
gig
and
right there. Hey,
have a little bit of fun. It's something that would be fun to do for a lot of people, I think. All right. Now, this might not be fun for a lot of people to do, but according to her, it was pretty fun. Now, you may remember the lady we talked about. Her name's Lily Phillips, and she got it in with 100 dudes in a day.
Jesus.
Oh, yeah, man, 100 dudes in one day.
I read the story about that.
Yeah. But so she was working up, though, to a bigger thing. Well, apparently there's a competitor out here in the OnlyFans porn world.
It's not me.
Her name is Bonnie Blue, and she claims to have broken a world record. The controversial creator left people baffled after she slept with 1,057 men in 12 hours.
Wait,
That's
what?
right. 1,057 men in
Like,
12 hours.
is that even possible?
You know, there's only 1,440 minutes in a day.
Well, I didn't, but thank you for that. I appreciate that. You can bring those facts in
That's a
anytime.
lot. That's a lot of men.
It
In
well,
12
it is.
hours?
Yes, in 12 hours, 1,057 men. Now,
Jesus.
Lily Phillips said she was in training to have sex with 1,000 men in 24 hours. So apparently, Bonnie Blue here said, well, bitch, hold my beer because I'm going to do more than that in half the time. And that's apparently what she did. The competition between creators and the extreme nature of these stunts has left some experts and sex workers concerned.
Oh, yeah.
As OnlyFans stars push themselves to the limits. Now, Lily, after she slept with 100 guys in however long it was in a day, the next interview she did, she was in tears, talking about how she was worn out and, felt a type of way about it, But then she came
Worn
back and
out.
said, well, I still want to do this 24-hour 1,000-guy thing, right?
She no longer cares about her internal organs?
I don't know. I should maybe not. That's a question. Is
I
how
don't
does
think she
that?
has any internal organs left.
Well, that's another question. The other thing is you got to think about how long qualifies.
How did she meet all these people, first of all?
Well, I don't think she sent out an invitation
You put
personally
out
to
like
them.
an ad or something.
I think they probably put out an ad
Facebook group?
somewhere. Yeah.
Craigslist.
Yeah, probably some acting site. Who knows? But so you sign up to be one of these 1,057 guys. Now the question is, what counts as getting it in? Is that one stroke? Is that just there for a minute? Do you need to be there 30 seconds? Is there a certain thrust ratio
What's the
that has
order
to
as
occur?
well? I wouldn't
Well,
want
I
to
don't
be
know.
the 1,057th guy.
I don't want to be the 12th guy.
I don't want to be the first guy.
Yeah, I don't want to be any of them, to be honest with you. But do you think they have little squares like the marathon people, little paper tags? They're all lined up there, with their little cell phones, doing their selfies right before. All right, here I come, number 128. I'm about to do my thing.
Like the Squid Game.
Squid Game.
Oh my God.
No, I don't think that's a squid, sir.
Different kind of squid.
It's not a squid. But apparently, she was on a podcast last year, and Lily said, well, she was just talking, her and this lady were talking shit to each other. But so Bonnie Blue is explaining how she slept with 1,057 men in that time frame, the logistics of it. She said people have been utterly perplexed trying to understand how this works, right? So, hold on. I'm trying to get past this pop-up. There we go. So where does she go into it? Okay, she says, the star was branded a predator by some critics as they questioned whether the young men taking part understood the potential consequences of their digital footprint. I don't know what the hell any of that means. These guys knew exactly what they were lined up to do. There's no consequence other than you might be number 1,033 and you look like a fool. But other than
They
that,
draw straws.
yeah.
I can do well enough of that on my own.
Now, she was banned in Fiji and Australia over visa concerns, but it hasn't stopped her. She took to social media to boast about the latest stunt. She thanked the team and all the husbands who took part, but said she would have struggled if the 12-hour event had continued the way it was going. But she said it was like a marathon. She slept with 1,057 people. She said as she hit 1,000, there were still 57 left in line who Bonnie wanted to pleasure before ending her 12-hour day. However, if you break it down, there are 720 minutes and 12 hours. So it means if her claims are valid, each man would have had less than 60 seconds to be the star. So when you say in and out, you mean in and out. In the video,
Not a sponsor.
she revealed she feels fine after sleeping with over 1,000 guys. She said, I think if it continued how it did for the first 3 or 4 hours, I would have struggled. She said the room was full and all the men who participated were rotating like a circle, just in a line, a big line that got bigger and bigger.
Wow.
In a separate video, she joked about having glowing skin after breaking the record. This is what my face looks like after taking 1,000 men in less than 12 hours. Wow. Yeah.
I don't see the pleasure.
Well, look, I mean, I don't know. I'm not here to, well, yes, I am here to judge. I'm absolutely
Would
here
that
to
be
judge, and
considered-
so are you.
Would that be considered a skilled trade?
Sure.
Getting a man off in less than 60 seconds, 1,000.
Well, I didn't say, she didn't say she that.
Shoot.
Hey, don't tear my stuff up. You're getting a little excited.
Breaks over here breaking chairs. You're trying to break the table now.
Yeah, no, I don't think that they, whether they achieve anything or not, didn't matter to her. Yeah, their pleasure or their finish was not a factor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
just have time limit.
we don't have a tarp. Yeah,
I gotta get to work.
man, I
It was a
understand that.
pleasure.
Hey, good to have you
Hey,
in,
you
man.
too, man. I will see
Are we
you
gonna
all.
get that shot? I'm
No.
not gonna let you.
No,
let that go.
we'll catch it next time, man.
I'll see you all.
Yeah, I don't have any extra folks today.
Yes. Thank you, Patrick.
Oh yeah, thank you guys for coming
Love
in.
you,
I'm
Ray.
glad that you did.
Thank you, sir.
All right, man. Good to see you guys. Good to see
See
you.
you at the Haze show. See you at Arkansas.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. Anyway, back to where we were, man. 1,057. Can you imagine that? I mean, your thighs got to be sore. That's what I'm saying. Let's see. Brandon said the face paint was dope. Yeah, it was. Let's see. Good morning, Jared said. What's up, Jared? There's Marla. What's up, Marla? How you doing? Hadn't seen you in a minute. Andy Jones. What's up, Tactical Turkey? How you doing, man? Crystal said, so happy to have y'all back. It's been so boring. Please don't leave us for that long ever again. She said, but for real, I'm serious. Yeah, no, I'm sorry, Crystal. I really didn't want to. I did take some time, but really, between the snow and being sick, like I couldn't talk for a couple of days. I mean, I couldn't do anything really. I was just absolutely terribly sick, and it was not fun. Nobody liked me. I didn't like me. I spent my time in bed. It was miserable, but here we go. We're back in business now, right? Ronnie James said, yo, what's up, man? What's up, Ronnie? How you doing, wild man? And let's see, little doggy said clam games. Yeah, something like that. The clam games, you could call it that. That's just weird, though. 25th, I'm there, Darren said. Yeah, a lot of folks are going to be there for Arkansas. It's going to be, listen, that's going to be a wild, wild day. It's going to be a great show. Look, they're going to clear out this. And if you've been up here before, you know what I'm talking about. If not, it's okay. But right on the other side of the door here, the studio, is a giant warehouse area. And they're clearing all that stuff out. They're building the ring in there. They're building the big scaffold setup in there, the ramp for everybody to come in, a VIP area. We're going to have seating. We're going to have free hot dogs. It's going to be an amazing, amazing day. And so I hope that, well, I'm sure it's going to be standing room only. There's no doubt about it. But be sure and get here early if you want to see, get seats and see everything. I got my stuff ordered. I'm ready now. I'm going to have a full-length fur coat. I got some great wrestling trunks that I'm going to be wearing. Yeah, I'm ready to rock this stuff out. So it's going to be a hell of a lot of fun to do. 13-year-old Patrick's very excited about it. You know what I mean? Now, sometimes 55-year-old Patrick goes, man, are you stupid? But that's okay. I'll survive, I think, mainly. I probably should anyway. All right, let's move on, shall we? Let's do something just a little bit different here. Let's see what we got. Okay. So Meta, Facebook, as they call it, is ending their fact check program. And I saw that some people were happy about it. Some people were not. I'll tell you what's more interesting than that was watching Mark Zuckerberg tell everybody how that basically the current administration had been basically yelling, screaming, cursing, forcing them to make all of these changes and take this censorship role on that they didn't really want to take on. Now, I don't know how much of that I believe from Zuckerberg, but man, he sure is rolling the boat now. You know, yeah, it's pretty crazy to listen to him talk about how the government just had people, scores of them, that were calling them over things that were actual legitimate truth-filled posts that they still wanted to get rid of, at least according to him. I don't know. But So he says, we're going to get back to our roots and focus on reducing mistakes, simplifying policies, and restoring free expression on our platforms. More specifically, we're going to get rid of fact checkers and replace them with community notes similar to X. Now, how did that happen? Similar to X even. That's interesting, huh? I said it's a great opportunity for us to reset the balance in favor of free expression. What we're going to do is get back to our roots in free expression. Meta's third-party fact-checking program was put in place after the 2016 election and was used to manage content and misinformation on platforms. You might remember it was used to keep bad words from the misinformation about the vaccine, right? Allegedly. That's what it was used for, to lie about the vaccine and make sure that you got it and that nobody said anything bad about it, even though it wasn't working and they knew it. So, yeah. All right. And check this out. This is a little bit controversial. And speaking of social media and politics, see if you agree with any of this at all. An Arizona tattoo artist has been slammed after inking a 9-year-old girl who asked for a portrait of Trump on her neck. An artist at the Black Onyx Empire Tattoo Shop in Yuma shared on his Instagram that the girl had traveled to Arizona with her parents to get this tattoo. The artist who shared the video of the inking process said he convinced her to do a more patriotic tattoo instead of a U.S. flag on her arm instead of Trump on her neck. Told her in a year if she still wanted Trump, then to get it, but to think on it. Client came back a year later. I'm 10 now. Can you touch up the red? She also changed her mind on the Trump portrait a year later. The girl apparently traveled to Arizona for the tattoo, as the state allows kids to ink themselves if they have parental permission. The artist said he even tried to scare the girl's parents away by pricing the ink at $500, even though it's an $80 tattoo. So it's just an American flag on the arm. She didn't get a neck tattoo. At least the artist had the wherewithal to go, I don't know about that on a 9-year-old, 10-year-old, whatever it is. I don't think a neck tat is a good idea. They jumped on the price, he said. Video of the girl getting the tattoo shows her calmly sitting as the artist did the work. It sparked a debate online about whether kids should be allowed to get tattoos and if artists should decline their request, even if it's not illegal. What do you think? Should a 9 or 10-year-old be able to get a tattoo? I'm going to say, hell no, they shouldn't. And I'm going to say, maybe you're not a great parent if you're letting your 9 or 10-year-old get tattoos. Now, if you're talking about a temporary tattoo, yeah, okay. Yeah, transfer, stick-on tattoo. Sure, press-on tattoo. Yeah, those are a lot of fun. Get those at 9, 10 years old. Those are great. Not a real one. There's not a damn chance that there's any way a 9 or 10-year-old kid needs any tattoo whatsoever. There's nothing in their life that they need a tattoo of to memorialize at 9 or 10 years old. Let's see. Good morning, fellas. That's what Ronnie said. What up, man? Yeah, there's no way that you can convince me or that I ever would have allowed my sons. Matter of fact, I remember when both of my boys separately came to us about wanting tattoos before they were even 16. And we said, no, absolutely not. Not that I had any problem with tattoos. I don't. Matter of fact, I like them. I think they look dope. But I also think you need to be 18 to make that decision. I'm not gonna co-sign on that. I'm not gonna allow that. And that's what I told them. There's no way I'm gonna let you do that. It's not, I don't think they're cool or I think you're dumb. Your tattoo idea may be a great idea, but you're gonna have to wait till you're 18 to do it. Because I just don't think you should modify your body. Now, did let him get, Tyler got his ear pierced and that was fine. I'd done that. But if you take the earring out, the hole grows up. That's different. than a tattoo. Tattoo is a little tougher to get rid of. And like I said, it's weird to see a little kid with a tattoo, isn't it? I mean, wouldn't that be weird to see a 10-year-old rocking a tattoo? I mean, wouldn't you be like, hey, what happened here? How did this play out? Is that real? I don't think they should get, any kind of modifications done at that age. I don't think they should get horns implanted or any kind of subdermals or anything like that. Kelly said, wow, I'm shocked the artist did it. I'm sorry, if I was the artist, I would have told him to get the hell out. You can refuse service. No, it's true. You can. And I'm not sure, why the artist chose to do it. They said it is legal there. I don't even think it's legal here. I'm not sure. I don't quote me on that, but I bet it's not legal here to get a tattoo at that age. Yeah, Andy said it'll look even worse when they're 70. Yeah, you think it's bad when you get a tattoo and you're 20 and then you go to 70? Imagine if you were 9 when you got it. Yeah, that's another 10, 11 years for it to look bad. You have to go get it touched up when you're 16 just to keep the color fresh on it. That's ridiculous, man. That's absolutely ridiculous. David said, hell no. Just like the kids getting hormone therapy and all that. No, you're exactly right. The same principle, same exact principle to me. As a matter of fact, the UK already banned puberty blockers because they showed not only did they not produce anything positive, but to the contrary, they may produce negative effects instead. So no, you shouldn't have a tattoo and you shouldn't have your junk changed out. You shouldn't be blocking puberty. That's just not a good idea in general, is it? I mean, really? So I think it's a real bad idea, actually. Maybe anything that needs to happen should happen after puberty. That's probably the best. That way your body, gets everything it needs. That's the whole point of the period of time is you get all these growth hormones, all these different things that your body needs to mature. And so when you put those puberty blockers in, you stop the maturity of the body and probably going to, permanently prevent you from reaching certain levels as an adult that you can never reach. It may be height, maybe weight, maybe other things that are critical during that period that you miss. So yeah, hell no. I don't think you should get a tattoo or anything else until you're 18. I think that's the age that should start. And if you don't agree, I understand. I mean, but tell me why. Tell me why it's okay for your kid to get a tattoo at 9. I'll listen. I'll listen to you. Go ahead. I'll listen for sure. But you're going to have to come with something compelling, something real compelling for me to change my mind on that. I don't think you could change it, to be honest. All right, let's see what else is going on right now. There's a lot of stuff happening here. Man, here's one of those issues with teachers that we talk about sometimes. Now, here's the good news. This is a win. She wasn't sleeping with the students. That's a win. That's a plus. A former Virginia high school teacher who allegedly sold vape cartridges to students now facing multiple charges. Caitlin Crescent taken into custody by the Fairfax County PD early last week following the alleged incidents at Falls Church High School. On October 24th, Child Protective Services got a referral that a teacher was selling vape cartridges to the kids at school. Detectives were notified and assumed the investigation. They determined that between December of 2023 and June of 2024, Caitlin sold vape cartridges to 4 different students. Police said she was charged with contributing to the delinquency of a minor, distribution of a controlled substance. She was put on administrative leave. She's no longer employed by the school. She was held at the Fairfax County Adult Detention Center on a $4,000 bond. A spokesperson said she was hired by the district in August 2021 before being let go at the end of the year of 2024. A page belonging to her identifies her as a learning disabilities teacher. Investigators are looking to speak with anyone who may have more information about the case. Just a bad idea to be slinging vapes to the kids in general, isn't it? I mean, as a teacher, aren't you supposed to protect them? You know, we're worried about chocolate milk and you're slinging them vapes. Come on, man. Bring back the chocolate milk. That shit's legit. That's righteous. They need that. They don't need a vape. They don't need that, man. All right. Let's see what else is going on here. Yeah, this is moving forward with the science part of the program. If you've ever been told to grow a backbone, there's a procedure for that now. Scientists at Francis Crick Institute in London have successfully grown what's called a notochord in the lab. The notochord guides the formation of the spine and nervous system in an embryo. That's something that's never been done before. The achievement was made using stem cells, and while the lab-grown notochord is simple, it means the road is open to development involving the nervous system. And yes, it was human spinal tissue the scientists grew, giving scientists a leg up to study developmental disorders. So now they've grown a human spine in the lab. So you're going to be able to grow, replace a spine, a heart, all of these things you'll be able to do, which is kind of crazy if you think about it. Think about that, if you can do this with stem cells in a spine, very soon they'll be able to correct paralysis or spinal cord fractures, things like that. They're already showing some promise in some of that now. Some of it with things they're adding in, some of it with exoskeleton stuff that they're doing. There's some different ways that they're doing it, but the fact that you can grow a spinal cord now is pretty crazy. That's pretty amazing stuff. And it's really, I don't know, maybe over the next 20 years, it's going to be wild to watch what medical technology does. You got fewer people, you may need fewer people because, you may be living a lot longer. I'm excited when my time comes to go because I don't want to live 150, 200, 300 years. I'm going to leave that to you cyborgs out there that are coming. You young folks are going to be like, yeah, now go ahead and, modify me up and let me keep going to about 150, 175. Not this guy. I'm tired already. I need a nap. I don't want to be here that long, but y'all have fun with that. But it is coming, and it is crazy that you're going to see people who were paralyzed walk again, and I think very soon. I think you're going to see people who have full paralysis start to walk again. I think the research they're doing with stem cells is nothing short of amazing. It's unbelievable, the work that they're doing. And it's interesting too. I have a friend of mine who is a big believer in peptides and who does a lot of research on their own. And I'm seeing a lot of people start to do their own body hacking. They're online, they're shopping around, they're looking at the science, they're investing in things that they feel like are hacking their body. Is that something that, who out there, is anybody doing that? Anybody using peptides or stem cells or things like that, in your life now that you're using to hack your body? There's a documentary on Netflix. It's a billionaire, and he spends a lot of money. He's got an entire team of scientists, and their only job is to try to make his body 18 years old again, to return it to 18. And so he's got all kinds of different hacks they do. And as a matter of fact, he's got some type of thing that he hooks up to his junk that measures his morning wood, how many spontaneous erections he gets overnight, because apparently the more you get, the better it is, the healthier you're supposed to be. So, I guess that's a win if you're getting lots of, overnight boners. So congratulations to those who are getting those all the time. I think that's awesome for you. Let's see. K-Bird said, what up, P and the peeps? What's going on, man? Andy said, is she hot? No, Andy, she's really not that hot, to be honest with you. I mean, she's okay. You know what I'm saying? She's okay. Andy said a 70-year-old with a 61-year-old tat. He said, screw that. No, that's a bad look. You're absolutely right, Andy. That's who wants a 61-year-old tat? You know, probably needs to be cleaned up a little bit. You know what I mean? I don't know. Can you make it look good for 61 years? Do you keep them going? At what point do you stop maintaining tattoos? Or is that something that you guys do? Do you get them, kind of colored in again every so often, touched up, made to look good? Or do you just get it? It's a one and done, and however it rides the rest of your life is how it rides the rest of your life. Color, no color, faded, not faded. How do you do it? I mean, is that something that has a maintenance schedule, or is it just a one and done and that's it? Because sometimes you see these dope ass sleeves that people get, but it won't stay looking dope forever if you don't, keep it touched up, keep it cleaned up. Just time over time, daily wear just from washing stuff will wear it down some. So I'm just curious how many, when you spend that kind of money, do you put it on a maintenance level? Do you go in and get it tuned up regularly, or do you just leave it be? Let's see here what else we've got to talk about. Let's move on and do something here. Hold on. All right. Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let's do this. Yeah, I saved this from earlier, and this is a good one here. This was me. Look, I told you I got real sick Thursday, I guess it was. We ended the show a little bit early Thursday, and or was it Wednesday? Maybe even Wednesday, because we weren't here Thursday. The snow came in or started to Thursday, but I got sick Thursday night. And man, when I tell you I was sick, I was down, and I was whiny as hell. Do you get whiny like that? No one's at their best when they're under the weather, and no one knows that better than the people who live with you. A new survey looks at how illness affects us, and in turn, those around us. And if your significant other doesn't handle having a cold very well, you're not alone. According to the poll of 2,000 U.S. adults, a third of couples who live together say their partner turns into a baby when they're sick. Do you turn into a baby when you get sick? Does your partner turn into a baby when they get sick? Does it aggravate you? They describe their partner as stubborn, 25%, dramatic, 23% when sick, and 22% refuse to even admit they're sick. Cold and flu season takes a toll on a lot of people. Respondents admit they only feel 100% fit and healthy 16 days of the average winter month. People tend to experience sickness suspicion for a couple of days before an illness actually takes them down. So I feel like I'm getting something. I think I'm getting something. Am I getting something? You know that feeling where maybe, is it really hurting in the back of my throat, or is this just my mind playing tricks on me? People tend to, it says the biggest sign of sickness on the horizon, a lack of energy, followed by common symptoms like coughing, sore throat, or congestion. Some less common signs people are getting sick include mixing up what day of the week it is. You're real sick then. Getting in arguments with loved ones and putting things in unusual places, like mistakenly putting the keys in the fridge. Yeah, you're not sick, you're out of it. Yeah, if you're putting the keys in the fridge, you're getting an argument. There's something more going on here. Maybe you need to tune your meds down or something. Let's see. While we may not like to admit we're sick, we don't suffer in silence, as the average sick person mentions it twice a day until they feel better. Oh, I promise I mention it way more than that. No, I'm going to let you know all day. I still don't feel good. I'm still sick. Yeah, that's right. In general, respondents are out of commission for an average of 3 days when they catch a cold. So extreme things Americans have done when they're sick. Can't remember their own name. Okay, that's not sick. That's dying. Put on 2 different shoes, same color. Forget to pick up kid from school. No, I don't care how sick you are. You're not going to forget your kid. Come on, man. That's ridiculous. Drove with pizza on the roof of a car. Are you an idiot? Stop it. Go to work on a day off. These don't sound like things sick people do. They sound like things that drunk people do. People who probably shouldn't be driving a car. But I will admit that, man, I'm whiny. And I'll be like, Laura, can you? She hates hearing her name when I'm sick like that. I promise you, she hates hearing her name. What about you guys? Are you whiners? Are your significant others whiny when they get sick? Let's see what everybody's saying here. No, nobody's saying right now. No. Darren said, hell to the no. Hell to the no. All right, let's move on from that, shall we? Okay, so here are the best and worst states to raise a family. Now, let me impeach this right away. This is Wallet Hub. Now, Wallet Hub hates Arkansas. I don't know who owns Wallet Hub, who runs it, why, but they hate us with a passion. They will never put us in a good light at all. But anyone with kids will tell you it's not cheap to raise a family. Some places are more affordable than others, of course. The expense is not the only thing to consider when you're deciding where to raise your family. Some parents prefer to stay close to where they grew up. Others want to make a fresh start somewhere new. A new report highlights places they might want to consider. Wallet Hub's list of the best and worst states to raise a family. So they compared all 50 states on 50 key indicators. Look, there's no need for 50 indicators. Okay, so that's too many already. So that's why you're manipulating it by adding a bunch of unnecessary things. However, having said that, what's, according to this, the best state to raise a family? What do you think it might be? What state do you think would be the best one to raise a family? Just curious. Where do you think it is? You think Massachusetts? Because that's what this says. That Massachusetts, like Boston, that's the best place to raise a family. I'm going to call bullshit. Not saying it's a bad place. Probably pretty expensive, pretty congested, pretty cold. I don't know. Minnesota's number 2. Have you been to Minnesota? Anybody? It's very freaking cold. It's near Canada. Come on, man. Minnesota, North Dakota. Yeah, I'm sure it'd be fine. If you're a rancher, it's a great place to raise a family. Nebraska, New Hampshire, New York, Illinois, Wisconsin, Maine, and Connecticut. Are any of those states ones that you've been like, man, that's where I want to raise my family? I can't wait to go to Wisconsin and raise a family. If you love cheese, maybe, dairy. I can't wait to go to Chicago and raise a family. Yeah, no, nobody's saying that. Nobody's saying that. So what are the worst states to raise a family? Well, the worst is apparently New Mexico. Is that just because of Breaking Bad? I mean, that's just a show, right? I mean, it's good climate in New Mexico, isn't it? I mean, not a lot of rain, not a lot of snow, pretty temperate. Number 2, Mississippi. Okay, I can see where maybe you don't want to raise a family in Mississippi. It's, one of the poorer states, although the casinos have improved it a lot. Number 3, West Virginia. Nobody wants to raise a family in West Virginia, really. Number 4, Nevada. Yeah, not a family state, really. Number 5, Oklahoma. Now, nobody wants to live in Oklahoma, much less raise a family there. Number 6, Alabama. Number 7, Arkansas. Number 8, Louisiana. Number 9, South Carolina. And number 10, Arizona. You're going to tell me that, according to these folks, you'd rather raise a family in Nevada than Arkansas. Oh, no, Louisiana than Arkansas. I don't think so. I think Arkansas is a great place. Matter of fact, we just talked about it, that more people moved here in 2024 than any other state. So, unfortunately, word's out. Arkansas is a dope place to come to. People are starting to figure it out. And there's good reasons for that. You know, you might, if you're young, you might think, oh, we're not very culturally advanced. And you're right. You know, compared to Dallas, if you go to the Dallas Museum of Art, although our new art center is amazing. But, you know, there are cities with certainly more tourist things that are cultural, you know, more art worthy, things of that nature. But if you're talking about hanging out with your family, going to the lake, you know, doing something naturally, going hiking, bike riding, kayaking, anything like that. You want a good cost of living. You want a place where people are pretty reasonable, where you can get across town in, even at the worst moment, 45 minutes. I mean, yeah, there's a lot to say for Arkansas as a place to live. It's a damn good place to raise a family, if I'm being honest. You know? Let's see. Never understood the hate for Arkansas, David said. Yeah, you know, I don't know. I think it's a conservative state. We've, you know, historically, we've made some bad choices in our state's history that didn't do well for us and give us kind of a black eye, so to speak, you know. But hopefully we've overcome most of that now. Let's see. I spent a summer in Wisconsin as a teen. It was so cool. Wouldn't want to be there in winter, though. Yeah, I bet it is interesting, Wisconsin. It probably is cool. You know, as you said, I wouldn't want to be there in winter. No, I don't want to be anywhere where that if I throw water up in the air, it freezes before it hits. I don't want to be there. That's not for me. Kevin said, when I'm sick, I'm a whiny bitch. Yeah, no, that's, I get it, man. Me too. I become a little bit whiny myself. Mike said, I raised 3 families in Arkansas. Wouldn't have wanted to be anywhere else for it. Well, there you go. You know, you're an overachiever, Mike. What can I say? You have accomplished 3 families, managed to raise 3 of them in Arkansas. That's impressive, sir, in the short time you've been here. And I know because it's the same amount of time I've been here, basically. Well, let's see what else is going on here, what everybody else is saying here. Okay. Is there a procedure for growing a set of balls? Andy, I don't know. I'm not sure if there's a procedure for that or not. I'm lying. Yes, there's absolutely a procedure for you to have balls. Now, are you going to grow them? No. I think they're called nudicles. At least that's what they call them for dogs. Did you know that? That if you get your dog castrated, that you can, you know, for his well-being and for his self-esteem, of course, you can have some fake balls added back. That's right. Because without them, what are they going to lick? The patch. I mean, it's not nearly as fun, I'm sure. You know, I mean, let's be honest. That's half the fun of being a dog, being able to do that on your own without any help. Yeah, you take those away. Yeah, that's kind of rough, you know. Mike said, I love kids. I'm just bad at marriage. I understand, buddy. You know, not everybody's perfect, man. It's just the way it is. Let's see. Yo, what's up, y'all? Hitting the studio tomorrow to record some more new stuff. That's Luke over at Luke Shoemaker Music. I talked to Luke the other day. He was having a good time, man. He was doing some studio work, and it was sounding awesome. We were talking about when his video hit the 1 million mark, Villain, which is amazing. If you haven't checked it out, go check that track out. But I know he was about to send me some songs because him and Vantage Ruins are about to drop the new tracks. And when I tell you that this song, the one that I heard, is going to be a massive hit, I promise you, I swear on everything, it's going to be a massive hit. You can bet on that. Let's see what else is going on here, guys. All right. Okay. This is a pretty dumb. A Texas rapper by the name of Tulo. He shocked audiences. He was doing a live podcast interview when he accidentally discharged his own gun in his pocket. Yeah. He was being interviewed on one-on-one with Mike D to discuss his life and career, while Mike D was engaged in a conversation about making life choices. All of a sudden you hear this, a loud bang. Probably sounded similar. Here, let me turn that up a little bit and do that again. Yeah, it's going to sound something like that. And a bright flash emanated from Tulo's jeans pocket, causing both him and the host to be momentarily frozen in shock, which I can imagine, because the first thing you're trying to do is figure out, did I just shoot myself and I haven't felt it yet? Because I would think that could be a thing. If it might be so sharp and so fast that you could shoot yourself and not feel it yet. So you're probably praying to God you didn't just shoot yourself. Second, I didn't just accidentally shoot somebody else. And third, I didn't destroy something when I did this. So anyway, the startling event took place about 47 minutes into the podcast. At that moment, Tulo was seen reaching into the pocket of his jeans when the gunshot rang out. What an idiot. The host said, "Who shot who? Somebody got shot?" A visibly stunned Tulo froze for a few moments before removing the weapon, inspecting it, and putting it back in his pocket. He then attempted to maintain his composure by assuring everyone's safety. Everybody good? Everybody good? Yeah, you just shot a gun in the studio, dumbass. No, everybody's not good. They're tripping. Like, what are you doing? Why are you? Come on, man. This is the reason that not everybody can have nice things, man. Okay? The incident reignited the conversation about firearm safety and responsibilities. Well, yeah, you should be, but he nearly solved it himself, almost shot himself. So, if he did, that's the Darwin Award. What are you going to do that's worse than shooting him? You're going to get him in more trouble than shooting himself? I don't think so. What a dumbass, though, to let your gun go off in the middle of an interview. I guess it'll be an interview that sticks out, We'll say that. It'll stick out. All right, let's talk about this before I wrap it up for the day, because clearly I'm not going to have any more guests come in today. So we're going to wrap up a little bit early. But Elon Musk said a third person has now received an implant from his brain-computer interface company, Neuralink, one of many groups working to connect the nervous system to machines, okay? So we got 3 humans with Neuralinks. All are working well. Now, he did this interview at a Las Vegas event that streamed on his platform. Now, since the first brain implant about a year ago, he said the company upgraded the devices with more electrodes, higher bandwidth, and longer battery life. He also said they hope to implement the experimental devices in 20 to 30 more people this year. Now, he did not provide details about his latest patient, but did have updates on the previous ones. The second recipient, who has a spinal cord injury, that's what we were talking about earlier, and got the implant last summer, was playing video games with the help of the device and learning how to use computer-aided design software to create 3D objects. The first patient, also paralyzed after a spinal cord injury, described how it helped him play video games and chess. But while these developments attract notice. A lot of other companies and research groups are working on similar projects. 2 studies last year in New England, or in the New England Journal of Medication, described how the brain-computer interfaces, or BCIs, help people with ALS communicate better. More than 45 trials involving brain-computer interfaces are underway. The efforts are aimed at helping treat brain disorders, overcoming brain injuries, things like that. So a lot of research labs have already shown that humans can accurately control computer cursors using these interfaces. Neuralink may be unique in a couple ways. The surgery to implant the device is the first time a robot has been used to implant flexible electrode threads into a human brain to record neural activity and control devices. Those threads may record from more neurons than other interfaces. But he said the advantages of Neuralink's approach have yet to be shown. Some competitors have eclipsed the company in other ways. For example, companies like Synchron, BlackRock Neurotech, and Onward Medical are already conducting BCI trials on people using less invasive methods or more versatile approaches that combine neural recording with stimulation. So what are the benefits? Well, obvious benefits are, helping people with paralysis, right? I mean, that's the big thing here. So how are they regulated? Well, Neuralink announced in 2023 it got permission from U.S. regulators to start testing the device in people. While most medical devices go on the market without clinical studies, high-risk ones that undergo pre-market approval need what's called an investigational device exemption from the FDA. And this is one of those. Neuralink says it has this exemption, but the FDA says it cannot confirm, nor, you know how they are. They're not going to tell you anything. But pretty fascinating that we're really starting to see these things be used on a more regular basis and what that could lead to in the future. I mean, if you're thinking about, people not being paralyzed anymore, but, I also think about how could these things interact with patients who have Alzheimer's or dementia or some of these other things, MLS, muscular dystrophy, all these different things, these disorders, MS, ALS, Lou Gehrig syndrome, all these different things. I wonder how these may be able to help or treat some of these diseases in the future. I think that we're really on the cusp of solving a lot of disease and a lot of cool things in the future. Let's see what the people are saying here. By the way, hadn't probably said it enough today. A couple things. Number one, Fitz Auto. If you are in need of a late model, low mileage vehicle, look no further than Fitz Auto. Go right over to 8421 Stagecoach Road in Little Rock. Listen, same folks have been there forever. The same management, the same family, the same people helping you with the cars. They're all the same folks. I mean, how many car dealerships can you go to a year later and find the same staff? Almost none. At Fitz, they're all the same. They're all the same. They're good folks there. And so they work with you on your down payment. They work with you on your credit history. They report to the credit bureau so you get reestablished. Man, they have great vehicles. We bought 7 of them in our family from Fitz, and I'll continue to shop with them until they're not there or I'm not here, one or the other, because they're that good. Another person I want to mention to you is Josh Taylor over at AMC Mortgage. Josh is awesome. And if you have not worked with Josh, if you're thinking about getting a mortgage, if you're going to buy a home, man, he's great. He does a lot of first-time buyer programs. They've got programs where they can get you in with little or nothing down. Some great programs. And Josh is so good at helping you out. And what I like about him is he's just regular people like we are. He's not one of these guys that think they're better than everybody. He doesn't talk in a bunch of words that are impossible to understand. He's real simple, straightforward folks. He's a deer hunter. He's a duck hunter. He's just one of us, man. Reach out to him. You can call him at 501 351 2579. It's 501 351 2579. Or you can just go over to amcmtg.com. amcmtg.com and check those guys out. Josh helps a lot of my clients with financing, and he's really good at it. And I think that you'll really like working with him, no doubt about it. All right. Well, I want to say thank you guys so much for tuning in today. It was a weird day because we had a few guests, but no co-host today. But tomorrow we've got a packed house. Trust me, but I couldn't just sit home again another day. I told these guys that, look, even if I have to go in by myself, I'm going to do it. And so I did. And here we are. Listen, I can't thank you guys enough. We're so excited about everything going on. You got Ark Brawl coming up. We're going to be on The Blocks. That's a reality show that will be in May. And very thankful to you guys for helping us with that. Man, everything in the world is happening. I've got a new guest coming in tomorrow that you're going to like. His name's Victor, and he's really cool people. He's a combat sports guy, and we're going to talk a lot about MMA and things like that tomorrow. And then I've got a few other surprises for you as well. So listen, I hope you have a great day. Thank you for tuning in, and tomorrow's going to be awesome. We'll see you then.